Good evening. A man from Trelawny who partially severed his girlfriend's neck from her body out of jealousy yesterday is now being sought by the police. The deceased has been identified as 41-year-old GARCIA Williams, otherwise called Julie, female farmer of MENDES town, also in the parish. Reports from investigators at the Wait a Bit police station are that shortly after 9 a.m., the female farmer left her home in MENDES town for her farm, which is located in an area called Greentown. Williams had just reached the farm when she was confronted by her boyfriend, with whom she had been having disagreements recently. An argument developed between the two, and the accused allegedly used a machete to partially sever Williams's neck. He then ran from the farm and is now being sought by the police. While the scene was processed and Williams's body removed to the morgue for post-mortem examination. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. In other news tonight, the police have charged the operator of an illegal taxi with dangerous driving after he led them on a high-speed chase yesterday in St. Andrew. Two videos have gone viral showing the illegal taxi operator speeding on a narrow road in the parish sometime after 7 a.m. A motorcyclist was also hit down by the driver and remains in hospital. Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Gary McKenzie, says the pursuit of the driver lasted some 10 minutes. During the pursuit, passengers could be heard screaming for the driver to let them out. However, the driver insisted on speeding along the narrow roads, arguing that he wouldn't be stopping to have the car of his boss seized. During the chase, a number of gunshots were heard. This resulted in the driver stopping the vehicle. ACP McKenzie says the police fired warning shots. The driver has since been charged with dangerous driving and could face further prosecution for other offenses. Still tonight, a Detective Sergeant TAMICA Taylor is to be charged for breaching the Dangerous Drugs Act following a legal opinion submitted to the JCF by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP. Now, the charges relate to marijuana that was recently found at a house where the policewoman and her male partner lived. The marijuana was reportedly being cultivated on the rooftop of the house, which was occupied by the policewoman and her partner. The policewoman's partner was charged with possession of and dealing in marijuana. JCF detectives reportedly consulted with the DPP's office on whether Sergeant Taylor should also be charged. The DPP submitted a legal opinion earlier this week that recommended that Taylor indeed be charged. The ODPP reasoned that, given that Taylor cohabited the premises along with her partner, it's unlikely that she did not know about the substantial marijuana cultivation which was taking place at the location. After she is charged, Taylor will be placed on suspension in line with JCF protocols. Taylor has since come out with a statement that she has been allegedly targeted and has been treated unfairly by the JCF. However, the High Command earlier today released a statement refuting the claims made by Officer Taylor. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. Continuing with the news tonight, Jason Rose, the pastor from St. James, who was arrested and charged in 2021 for allegedly raping a 15-year-old girl and attempting to pervert the course of justice, had his bail extended when he appeared in the St. James Circuit Court yesterday. Rose, who is facing the court with two co-accused, his wife and the victim's mother, who have also been charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice, were ordered to return to court on April 21. The three accused, who are making their fourth appearance before the court since the case started on October 6 of last year, were given additional time to settle legal issues with their attorneys, Adrian Days, Martin Thomas, and Tamika Spence Anderson. Reports are that on May 28 of last year, the teenage girl made a report that she was raped by Pastor Rose while using the internet at his church in St. James. Following an investigation, Rose was arrested and the complainant questioned by officers attached to SISOCA and the Child Care and Protection Agency. It is then alleged that the pastor's wife, Kemi Rose, and the victim's mother attempted to persuade her to change the statement that she gave to the police in order for the case to be dropped. They were both arrested and charged after the victim gave another statement against them on June 10, also of last year. Still making Mello TV news tonight, Sion Knight and his female accomplice, Sudeen Hilton, were ordered to return to court on March 8 when they appeared before the St. James Parish Court yesterday to answer to murder charges. Hilton had her $1 million bail extended while Knight was remanded into custody by Parish Court Judge Keisha Grant, who was told by attorney Shelley-Ann Hyman that she will no longer be representing him. Both accused have been arrested and charged with the August 12, 2021 murder of Richard Baker in Glendavon, St. James. Reports coming into our news center are that Baker was driving his motor car along the roadway when it developed mechanical problems and he stopped to make checks. Minutes later, a Toyota motor vehicle drove up beside him and the occupants then opened fire, hitting him. However, Baker managed to drive away. He made a report to the police before later succumbing to gunshot injuries at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. He identified Hilton and Knight as the persons involved in the attack, and they were arrested and subsequently charged. The 4 employees who were arrested and charged by the St. James Police for allegedly attempting to smuggle a quantity of cocaine on a flight destined for Canada from the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay last October had their bails extended when they appeared before the St. James Parish Court yesterday. All 4 accused, the 35-year-old Romaine Kerr and the 28-year-old Tavon Murray, both ramp attendants, 43-year-old security supervisor Indra Waite and the 23-year-old aviation security officer Brilani Reed were ordered to return to court on March 8. Parish Court Judge Keisha Grant was told by the prosecution bench that several documents, which include statements from the Canadian authorities and video footage from the airport, were still outstanding. Reports are that on October 10, all 4 accused were part of a team servicing a Sunwing flight at the airport, which was destined for Canada. The 4 allegedly conspired to smuggle 11.4 kilograms of cocaine valued at $570,000 on the flight, but the contraband was intercepted in Canada. Now, following an investigation by the Narcotics Division in St. James, they were arrested and charged with possession of, dealing in, and exporting cocaine. And as we continue with the news, the government is launching a new incentive-based campaign to reward persons offering information leading to the seizure of illegal guns and the arrest and charge of wanted persons. The National Crime Prevention Fund, NCPF, which operates Crime Stop, a partnership between the police, the private sector, and the media, already pays out for tips. But the Prime Minister Andrew Holness chaired National Security Council NSC last week agreed on the development of another robust national campaign against illegal guns and gangs. Young men will be the key demographic target of the campaign, which stakeholders say aims to educate the population on the dangers of illegal guns and dissuade persons from dealing, trafficking, procuring, possessing, and using such weapons. Under pressure, Scotiabank now says it will delay increasing the fees for using automated teller machines, ATMs, and point-of-sale machines for 6 months. In a statement yesterday evening, The bank said during the period, it will continue its public education to ensure that customers are in the best account type and are accessing the most appropriate channels to minimize the fees they pay. At the same time, Scotiabank says it will be expanding its Scotia payroll account for customers earning under $100,000 per month. According to Scotia, this account type has no minimum balance requirement and attracts no fees for Scotia ATMs or point-of-sale transactions. Last week, NCB announced that it would be introducing an account type that does not attract fees. As we turn our attention now to tonight's COVID-19 update, according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica reported 294 new cases of COVID-19 and 5 fatalities yesterday. This increases the total of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 124,806 and the death toll to 2,663. Of the newly reported cases, there were 175 females and 119 males ranging in age from 59 days to 95 years. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 137 cases. St. Catherine and St. James, 38 cases each. Portland recorded 26 cases. Westmoreland, 20 cases. St. Thomas recorded 13 cases. Manchester and Trelawny recorded 6 cases each. Hanover recorded 4 cases. Clarendon recorded 3 cases, while St. Anne, St. Elizabeth, and St. Mary recorded 1 case each. Meanwhile, the latest victims include a 65-year-old female from St. Anne, a 96-year-old female from St. Mary, an 89-year-old male from St. Catherine, and a 74-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as a 43-year-old female from Clarendon whose death was previously reported as under investigation. The deaths were recorded between September 18 and January 30. The country also recorded 200 additional recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 70,203, while there are 7,782 confirmed active cases on the island. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe and pleasant viewing.